What is going on, guys? Judo Sloth here, and today we had two nice 3 crown wins back to back in Clash Royale. So I thought I'd bring them to you. You might see my battle deck there. I will bring a video on that because they do seem to gel very nicely together, and it's quite a good beginner's deck. I feel I've had quite a lot of success with it, but let's get into these two replays. So starting out on the first replay here, I'm just going to let my elixir move up towards 10. Once it gets there, I will put some troops in so I'm not wasting any. And you'll see my opponent starts a little bit of a rush on the left hand side as well, puts his prince in, followed by a hog rider. So I'm going to put my prince in and some spear goblins, any sort of damage in there to try and get that down. Do successfully get rid of his troops, but he is off to a little bit of a head start. Although my prince is charging towards his tower, does get a hit off, and I'm going to reinforce that with a goblin barrel, which gets taken straight out. So well played by my opponent. That brings us about even, so we'll just wait for our elixir to move back up, and then we will start another push. So again, just waiting to see if my opponent puts something in, but once I get close to 10 elixir, I will put a troop in at the back, just so that I'm not wasting elixir. Works out quite well that he brought in the baby dragon, as my knight will slowly move forward, and then when they meet, they will be in my half of the battlefield. So I will also have my archer tower to help do some damage on his troops, and you'll see because of that, I can take down his troops rather easily, and it allows me to go off on a bit of an offensive push myself, and start doing some more damage on his tower. So a nice move on his part in terms of the minion horde, but I'm easily going to be able to take that out with some arrows. I'd say that's my main use for the arrows within my deck, is taking out the minion horde, because it is such a strong card. If you can get the minions to the tower, they do a lot of damage. He's coming in again with the hog rider, but I do have a lot of cheap troops within my deck which are quite good for that, so they're easily able to counter that and then move forward to do quite a bit of damage on his tower, get a lot of success from. That was more a defense on the hog rider, and then I got an offensive push on the back of it. But that's what it's all about, using your half of the battlefield as an advantage when you have your archer towers there as well, and then moving forward with what you have left. So taking the lead 1-0, and we are into the final minute, so double elixir. Initially, I'm just going to put some troops down to fend off his musketeer and his knight, but then he does put some smaller troops in that of the spear goblins and again the minion horde. I already had my baby dragon in there with splash damage, but I decided to reinforce that with the bomber. Whilst that was all going on, trying to put a goblin barrel over to the opposite side so I could get some easy damage on the other tower, just in case he gets my left tower, because it is down to about half health. So again, trying to just fend off the left hand side tower here. Do have my baby dragon for some splash damage, and I'm rushing down this right hand side with the prince. Again, trying to flank on that side to get some damage. Got that tower down, so that worked perfectly. And with 10 seconds to go, I have huge amounts of troops closing in on the king tower. Throwing a goblin barrel over as well, just to join the party. Getting the finishing touches to close in on a 3 crown victory, and all around a good battle. So as we say in England, we got to whitewash that game, which is a perfect battle, 3 crowns to 0, and then we jumped into another match, and this is what we got. So using the exact same deck, this was immediately after the previous battle. Just going to wish Rick good luck here, and then we'll just see if he makes a move first, in which he does. He puts the hog rider in, so quickly rushing forward. I'm going to put my knight down and then my minions. Quickly fend that off, have my spear goblins as well moving forward. So not very successful start for him, but he is going to be able to fend this off rather well with his baby dragon. But whilst he's occupied, again, I'm going to flank down the right hand side with my prince and get good amount of damage on that tower. That probably is one of my favourite parts of a battle, when you have your opponent occupied on one side and then you just sneak a troop down the other side and get huge amounts of damage on the tower. You'll see again, I have a baby dragon coming down the left hand side. He's going to fend that off easily with the minion horde, but just like the last raid, I have my arrows there, and I'm going to take them out before they do too much damage on my tower. You'll see an example here of what we were discussing in the last match. Our 2 knights are battling it out, but his is going to win because he has the tower behind, backing him up. My opponent then trying what I was just discussing, in that he switched lanes and tried to flank a hog rider down that side. Going to fend both of them off with some spear goblins and some minions. Not too worried about them then moving forward and getting some damage. I'd rather just preserve my elixir to make a proper offensive push. Now I know his baby dragon doesn't have a lot of health, but I still don't want it getting any damage on my tower, so I'll put my own dragon in to fend that off. Tried to reinforce that as it got close to his tower with a goblin barrel. Unfortunately it didn't work out quite as well as I'd hoped. It did get a little bit of damage on the tower, but nothing too special. He then comes forward with a prince, so I'm going to need some ground troops to defend that. Put my knight in first along with my spear goblins to take that down quickly, and then they will move forward. I'll then reinforce that with some more small troops in that of the minions. They'll move forward and get a little bit of damage on the tower. Well played on his part putting the bomber in, but moving into the last minute, I'd say we're in the lead. We have more damage on his towers, but still a very close match. Coming forward with that deadly hog rider again, but I'm easily going to fend that off with my baby dragon and my prince. They're going to come forward and do quite a lot of damage on his tower actually. I did reinforce that again with a goblin barrel, and we're going to take the lead at this point, 1 crown to 0. Now again, instead of just pushing on where we're at, getting into a confrontation, my opponent is very occupied with my troops on the left, so it's very wise to flank troops down the right hand side and take a 2 crown lead, because that means even if I lose a tower, I'm still in the lead going into the last few seconds. But just as in the last battle, huge amounts of troops closing in on his king tower, it's not going to matter because he's going to get wiped out for us again to wrap this up with another perfect battle and the 3 crown victory. That finishes it off then, guys. I hope you enjoyed them battles. I've been your host, Judo Sloth. Make sure to subscribe for more Clash of Clans and Clash Royale content, and until next time, peace out, guys. Stay tuned for more Clash of Clans.